Hello, James, and nice to meet you in cyberspace. This will be some video feedback for week 3, and I would have gotten to the wireframes if you've been able to post them, but no matter. Hopefully this will help you, and don't hesitate to reach out for more feedback if you need it. James, I'm looking at your 3.3 submission, which is about inline styling, and I can take a look at it this way. I'm using Safari for the Macintosh. It allows me to split the window and see not only a live preview, but also your code. So good job on that. I see that you have applied a corporate color to the type, and that was one of the rubric critical elements. And so you've been able to do that. It looks a little orangey though. Just make sure that you have the right bind hex combination. And then also, importantly, I see that you have one of the corporate palette colors as a background. Nice going. If I look at your code here, I see a little bit of annotation, probably from last week or the week before. I wanted to point out this script that GeoCities puts dynamically on your page. It's a JavaScript that makes your page visible as well as searchable. Don't worry about it. The other thing that GeoCities puts on there, of course, is that they host you. I see that you've been able to make paragraph marks and so forth, and you've used some basic inline styling, H1, H2, and you've defined those. So that completes the styling portion of this. Note that you will graduate from inline styling to an embedded style sheet, and then finally to an external cascading style sheet. I mean, ideally. Some people jump ahead because, ideally you should have an external style sheet, no matter how large or small the website. And you also, most importantly perhaps, is that you've been able to upload it. And I see that you created a GeoCities account with your name. And I guess you're calling, if I were to go to 2.3, would I see anything? No, but it looks like you are figuring out ways so you're not overwriting index.html. Renaming your index file, this is fine. I think it's clear to both of us that this is a week 3.3 HTML. When you come to finish your website, though, in the next couple of weeks, you may want to just make sure that your home page is titled index.html and that you haven't overwritten anything. Good job. James, you have the visual sitemap. Did you consider writing an HTML sitemap? All that would be is a list of links in your home page, maybe like 4 or 5. I don't know, there could be menu, contact, about us, about the restaurant. And that will become the basis, that unordered list will become the basis for your navigation this week, actually. So if you're unclear about that, take a look at HTML5 Foundations, Chapter 2. Okay, that should be clear. And then I see that you've got a file management. I hope this is understandable to you. The idea of making this illustration when I made that announcement was that your file management on your desktop should match. In other words, your directories or folders should be named the same thing, your files should be named the same, and it should be in the same places as your directory structure on the GeoCities server or whatever web server you're using. So I'm not seeing a coded sitemap. So I'm selecting needs improvement. I am, however, seeing file management structure. James, when students have come up with questions to ask focus groups, it's generally things about demographics. Would you eat here? Are you more likely to drive here? Are you more likely to order takeout? Those kinds of questions, all very valuable. I noticed that you're different in the sense that you are asking questions about the aesthetic, the look and feel, basically, of the interface that you're designing. And I think from our point of view as graphic designers, although I know many in the class are not graphic design majors, but I think in general, our point of view being visual creative are those concerns, are those formal concerns, color palette. Now, it may be that your client has a pre-existing branding scheme. But if not, those are all things that would have to precede developing a website. And I'm glad that you pointed them out. Now, you have devised questions to ask, focus groups as well as the client. Consider other types of market research. And I don't see any technological tools that you suggested. Google Analytics is very popular. Then there are some free tools that you can use to gather demographic information, such as the U.S. Census or Nielsen.